What's up everyone, David here with Suncel, the CMS for Next.js with a super simple visual editor. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a fully editable hero section using TailwindCSS and Suncel CMS. We will make an editable background picture, background color, title, tagline, and call to action button. Let's start! Okay, so we are here in the Suncel documentation and we can create a Suncel app just with one line of code thanks to our CLI. So let's go. I already have a Suncel account. My project name is Hero Tailwind. I want it to be with Tailwind CSS. And so here I will go to Suncel app. So this is the project I created in Suncel. Now I want my keys, API keys. So the first one is here. And you have to put that in the .env file and rename it only .env. Okay, that's it. Save it, and now we are able to do npm run dev on that. Okay, let's go in the boot folder. Good. Okay, let's go. So we are now on our localhost admin. So you have to log in with the same login you have defined in the Suncel app. And now you can create a page. So I will create example page. And that's it. So my page is here. I can add a block, but I only have the default block that you have when you create a project. So what I would like is to have my hero section with my background picture, background color, title, subtitle, and call to action button that are fully editable in the visual editor. So how to do that? We'll first create our component and make the style. Let's go. So we go on in Suncel blocks. We already have the first hero here. And I will create a new one and it will be hero bg image. So I will call my component hero bg image. Okay, and it will have the type Suncel block, and we will okay. So now our block, our component is created. And when you create a component with the Suncel block type, you have to define a schema as well, a Suncel schema. And inside the schema, you will have the slug and the display name that are both mandatory. Why? Because after that, you will tell in the menu blocks file that you have a block component, a block component that you can use in your blocks library and make it reachable in the blocks library in the visual builder. So let's go. We just here define the Suncel schema, and in the Suncel schema we will add the slug and the display name. So the slug has to be unique. You can call it whatever you want, but usually you can take the same name as your component. And here it will be the name that will be displayed in the visual editor. Okay, great. And what we can do now is is to add this component to our menu blocks file. Why? Because here I don't have this component available yet, but if I add it to my menu blocks file, you will see it. So here in the menu blocks file, you have a different categories level. So what I want to show you is that you can create different tabs, different category. So here I will create a new tab with another category, which is hero with image. And in here, I will add my component. So you can define the name you want here, or you can just go to take the display name. So I have to import it here. Okay, and basically, so just to show you here, if you want to create a subcategory, you can just create here, let's say without image. So we just keep it for the example, but you will see how it's organized. So here, that was my default component here. I just have now another tab here and two categories here, hero with image, hero without image, and I have my components. So I will just delete this one, and that's good. Okay, so now we start building our component. So let's make here div with class relative. Inside it, we create a class with full width and make it MX horizontal margin auto. Okay. Okay, so here what we want to do is to create H1 title, a subtitle, which will be a paragraph, and then the call to action, the button. So I will write everything and I will accelerate a little bit and you will see the result. Okay, so now we have our title, and let's do the subtitle and the call to action. Okay, so let's say that one. Okay, great. So now we have our title, our subtitle, and our call to action, and we want to make them editable. So let's go. What we have to do here is to define a new type, and in this type, we will have all the parameters we want to change. So let's call it type hero bg image props, and so this type will have title, which is a string. It will have, let's call it tagline, which is a string. It will have as well the CTA text, which will be a string. The CTA button, which will be a link type. And for now, that's it. Okay, so this h1, we could replace it by actually the text component. So the text component is a builder component, Suncel builder component, and you have to define the slug and the value. And you can define as well the tag name, which is by default, if you don't specify anything, it will be a P paragraph. So here it's h1, and we now have this h1. So I take the same class, entire class. Okay. So I can trash this line, but I need to give slug and the value. And we are good. So here we have to import this component. So we go to the Suncel documentation. We go to the builder component, and we have here the text component. And we can just import this text component. Good. And what I have to do now is to extend the Suncel block type with the type we just defined here, and to give him the props. Oops. And CTA button, and we are good. Perfect. So now if we go to our components, wonderful, you can edit it. Perfect. So let's do the same with the paragraph. So we just create a text component. We add the slug on it. We add, so let's take the same here, but the slug will be tagline, and it will be a P, so we can leave it empty. We just want to take the same class. Now we are good. Okay. So let's delete it. Okay. So now you can edit both. I would like to give a default value for the h1 and a paragraph. So you can do this here, default props. And for example, the main title, tagline, we'll give them default values here. So my title, so this is tagline, yes. Okay, good. So if I reload it, I add my component. So my title and subtitle, you see that you have the default value. So I can do the same as well for the CTA text. And for the CTA button, you can define the default URL. Good. Perfect. So I have to reload it in order to see my default value. So here the button is not editable and there is no link on it. So let's add everything. So here, what I will do is to add a link component. And I will give it all props. And inside this link component. I will have my text component, which will be the span here. So slug value tag name. So it's a span class. Good. So this is CTA text. And I have to import my link component as well. I can trash this. And wonderful. I can edit my text here. Perfect. So the thing is that I cannot edit the link here. So I just define my default URL, but how to change it? Well, what you have to do here is to add in this schema. So in this schema, you have the slug and the display name. You then have the default props, and then you can add what you want to edit here in the sidebar panel. Okay, so here we would like to see the link we would like to change. So in order to do that, I just had to add editor here, settings, and here it's an array. And what I have to define is so the link. So the type is link. And the slug, sorry. So you just have to give him the slug that's here. So it will be CTA button. And you give it a name, which is my CTA button link. Perfect. So here I have to reload my component. And you can see that now, so you can still change the text here, but you can as well change the link over there. So you can give it a link here. Well, my URL is not correct. Good, now it is. So you can give it this kind of external URL. But if you want, you can select a page inside the CMS. You just click on select page. So here we only have one page, but if you have multiple pages, you will see them here. Okay, good, perfect. So now everything is good with our title, subtitle, and call to action button. And now we will have to take care of the background picture and background color, and we will mix them a little bit to have a very nice background image. Okay, good. So let's put that inside a div with relative. Okay, and we will add here another div with our background color. And I want this background color to be editable in the right side panel we just saw. So I create a div here. So I give it inset 0. So basically, it will fill the entire parent with the color that we want. Okay. And then I will add style here. And in the style, I want background color, and this background color will be a color that we define here. And so the color is basically a string because it's the hexadecimal code you want to give it. So we have it here as well. But how to give this color a value? We will give it in the right side panel, and we will do that with something very cool here. Type color. So you will find all this detail in the Suncel documentation. The slug is color, and the name is, let's call it BG color. Okay. Let's reload the component because we have changed the schema. When you change the schema, you have to reload the component. Okay, and now wonderful, we have this BG color. Wow, and we can change it. And there is a live preview in the visual editor. Very cool. Okay, I will add something that is as well very cool. In the Tailwind documentation, you can see that you have this property here, and I will add it because I would like to mix the picture and the color to have a very cool effect. Good. Okay, so now we want to add a background picture. So in order to do that, we will add this image component, which is a Suncel component, and this is a wrapper of the Next.js image component. So basically here we have to indicate a slug, and before to do that, I will just import my component here and image type here. So you can refer to the documentation where you will find here in builder component image, and you will have all this information and how to import this component. Good. Let's go back in the code. So I need to define here my image bg, which is image type, and I have to add it in the properties here, component properties, and that's good. Okay, fine. So my slug is image bg. Here I don't want to define any height or width, and what I have to do is to use the property fill. So in Next.js 13 it's fill. Before Next.js 13 it was layout equal fill, so this is equivalent. And here I will add as well a class name with object cover full width and full height. Good. I need to add an out property. So here I take the alt property of the image I just import in the visual editor, but it may be undefined. And since Next.js 13, it cannot be undefined. So take care about it as well. And we just add it and don't have an error anymore. So here, basically, you have to take care of something else, which is if you do that. So if you deconstruct this image bg object, you will pass all the properties through the image component, and here we will have a problem. We will see that in a moment. But what I want to do here is to first add a default value for our image. Okay, good. And what I want to do as well is I want to be able to edit my picture and change it in the visual editor. And in order to do that, I have to add this possibility in the right side panel. And so I add a type image. My slug, so what I want to change is image bg, and I can give it a name, and it will be background picture. Good. Let's check everything. Seems to be good. So now I reload the component. Okay, very cool. Very cool. Very cool, but I have a problem. What is the problem? So here I have another picture, and if I load it, you can see that there is a problem because you use width and the fill property. And in Next.js, it's a problem. So basically here, I won't pass all the properties, but I don't need all those properties. I don't need width 8. I don't need the alt. So I just need the src property. src. Okay. Let's try it again. Change the picture. wonderful. And so now you can play with the color, and you have a wonderful hero section made with Tailwind, Next.js and Suncel, the visual editor Suncel CMS. And so you can add something else after that, and you can start building your pages, your blog components, and that's very fun to do that. Thanks for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this video, and see you in the next tutorial.